think we're there. What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Hope you guys are all doing great. It's funny, as I was wanting to show you guys a video, and I couldn't get it loaded. I loaded it up to show you guys, but the audio, only the audio is showing up. So I'm going to bring this down just a little bit. I might just play the audio of it as we talk, but how is everybody doing? Who do we have? Cheryl and Misty. Misty, sorry I missed you in Pennsylvania. Sarah, Jessica, Jeanette, everybody, how are you doing? Man, oh, the light's bright, isn't it? I have everything moved around from the last time I did this, so I need to get a second light on this side. And I have these topics, and I don't know where to start. I don't know who all's in, but whoever's in, please hit your like button, subscribe button. The more comments you leave, the better it helps me getting there, growing things. Also, I should be here. I shouldn't have skipped 2 weeks, but 1 week I was busy, and the second week I was just purely exhausted. So, you know, here we are again, right? The Iran thing. All of you guys, most everyone here is my friend, and know me deep enough to know where I lie on all this war stuff. And I'm freaking out inside, trying to stay calm, but it's crazy, right? It's crazy. I don't know how much anyone's keeping up. I don't know what anyone knows. For me, on a personal level, everyone knows the childhood trauma I went through with the threat of the nuclear war. I'm not alone in that. There's billions of us. What's up, Chris? How you doing, buddy? But I don't want to go pro-Trump here. I don't want to go anti-Trump. But what I want to say is the one thing I believe is he doesn't want any of these wars. I believe, for as much as I think he is crooked and twisted, and as much as the negative things I have to say about him as a person, there's a sincerity in his eyes every time he says people are dying. He doesn't seem to care whether it's Ukrainian or Russian, Israel or Iran. He truly seems to not want people to die. So with that being said, I think if you guys are watching the news today or in the last 24 hours, there's one very powerful statement that he made. Is a reporter asked him, what does he want to see in terms of a ceasefire or whatever, and he said very. There was no script. There was no one behind the scenes. He just said, I don't want a ceasefire. I want this to end. It was very powerful when he said it. It wasn't presidential. It was human. I want this to end. And then he, as much as he says he wants to stay out of it, he tells everybody in Iran to get the fuck out. I mean, the message is clear. Get the fuck out. And now, in the last few hours, we have learned that our planes are on the way over there. They put another missile carrier over there. I think before we wake up in the morning, we might see Iran wiped off the map. I don't think it's going to be nuclear, but I do know, I was just reading right before I watched this, that there was that we have something called a bomb buster, which is so funny because it's basically the beginning of Iron Man. It's basically fucking Iron Man, the very first Iron Man. We have this thing called a bunk buster or something like that. But apparently, it's the weapon that can penetrate underground to destroy the biggest nuclear facility Iran has. Now, the fear is that they have a nuclear weapon in there, a warhead. Not just the enrichment, but they do have the warhead in there. So the fear is we send that down tonight and blow this up, and it detonates the warhead, and we have the first nuclear explosion since Japan. And the technology is so much different, and the blast would be so much bigger and so much devastation. And then the radiation. So the bomb itself may be what protects the world from America getting involved, because we don't want to be blamed for that, or do we? But the Israeli leader, which I can never say the guy's name, he wants to wipe Israel off the map, which brings me to the thing I wanted to make the video of. I have the audio of. I might just play the audio, but I'm curious. I'm going to ask you guys. I can't say his name, so I'm just going to say the Israeli leader, Netafu or Netnatu or Netdafu, or I don't know. You know, if I'm watching, I'm not watching TV. I'm watching YouTube. Watch YouTube all the time, and they have ads. And I don't know if these ads are running anywhere but YouTube, but in the last 24 hours, this guy's made a full-blown commercial, and it feels really fucking weird. Have any of you guys seen or heard this? It's very propaganda. It's, and I feel like he shouldn't have been allowed to do this, and I feel it's persuasive, and it's a message that I don't believe belongs on an American advertisement, but it's running nonstop. Netanyahu. There you go. Netanyahu. Is that really it? All right. This audio is haunting, because at the end of it, he basically says the Bible says if someone's trying to kill you, kill them. So one thing I've always said, as much as I'm not a kill people guy, the one thing that I say is that the one thing that I say is part of the people in the Middle East, and I don't pretend to know exactly who, their lives are about killing us. Their goal, they wake up every day, they don't want our land, they don't want our oil, they want to rid the earth of us, they want to kill us. Crazy, right? So I'm going to sit here and listen with you guys on this. Well, maybe I can't hear it, but I'm going to play this. I hope the audio plays. Someone tells me if the audio is playing, and I don't know why the video won't play, but if you haven't heard this message is being advertised. It's on YouTube like a local plumber commercial. It comes up nonstop. So I wish I could show you the visual, but here it goes.
In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear enrichment program. We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great Satan. Never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When enemies vow to destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them. As the Bible teaches us, when someone comes to kill you, rise and act first.
Wonder why I'm just sitting here. No, I think it's over now. So, did you guys hear that? Especially at the end. Um, could you understand what he was saying and get the message? This is what I would love to say. I had 28 viewers, 11 likes. You know the deal. Please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed before, please hit subscribe. If you've never been here before, we talk about all kinds of things. So if you don't want to hear about me going on about Iran, I apologize. We talk about other things. Sometimes we'll talk about other things in a few minutes. But I'm curious what all of you guys think about that. That's an ad running on American television with some very very crazy brutal imagery too. So I would love. I'm gonna go like my buddy Steve Bram, not my buddy, but the guy I like, Steve Bram, that does these YouTube channels. I would love if you guys think put an R for right and a W for wrong, that that should be able to happen. Play on American TV as an advertisement. And why is it? What, like it it spooks me out differently than you know I was talking to some people about how I've always said, and I don't deny, the whole idea that remember, R's for right and W for wrong. Let's let's. I'd love it to work out right. In my entire life, I've always said I wanted the revolution and I wanted the world to change. And I've always said tear it all down and let's build it up again. I've said all these things and I don't disagree. But there's always this part inside of my head that thought this will never ever happen. Not in my lifetime. And I got pretty afraid when the Ukrainian war broke out, just because of the images, my childhood. But this, like this tonight may be the start of World War III. And all jokes aside, if the United States participates, which they're claiming that they already did earlier today, if the United States participates, Dave, you think it's right? If so, that's great. I'm making sure that that you understood W is wrong and R is right. And if you do think it's right, I would love to hear your opinion on it and why you think it's right. And by the way, thanks for being here. But if the United States strikes, then we're technically in a world war. Oh, Dave, there was a propaganda ad that's running in the United States from the Israeli leader that's basically calling on the entire world to kill the Iranians. It's just strange, and it's an ad. So I think it's wrong. I don't think he should be able to run an ad. It's an ad. I don't know what else to say. It's a paid-for ad where he gets to tell people to kill people. And while I'm on the side of, I hate to say it, while I'm on the side of destroying Iran because Iran wants to kill us, I don't think he should be able to run that ad. Yeah, there you go. So that's on my mind, and I'm manic, and I can't. I go back and forth from news channels and YouTube and checking all the live news and looking everywhere and obsessed. You guys know it. I'm obsessed. But this is some real shit. Like, I don't know if you saw, but Donald Trump left the G7 summit very, very, I gotta go. Just I gotta go. And he took off. He left from Canada. He came back here, and then he went into the Situation Room. And I don't know if you guys understand, but the Situation Room is where you go when big shit happens. What's up, Lisa? And Brandy at the same time. Or have you been there? Benny, what's okay? I hear you, brother. I know where you stand. And I get it. I get it. Anyway, it's too much for me, man. I don't even know what to think about it. So, with that being said, the Iranian leader tweeted, or whatever you do, you can find it. I think it's on X. I don't have X and I don't go on there. But the Iranian leader texted just recently that watch what happens tonight. So watch what happens tonight. It'll be talked about in the history books for 100 years, for over 100 years. What threat is that? Like he says that. Watch what happens tonight. It'll be talked about for 100 years. So those guys have been bombing each other for years. What are they going to do that is so shocking? Is it the nuclear weapon? What are they going to do? But until they do it, I'm fucking freaked out. I wish I didn't see that part of it. So, all right. I marked that part off my list of all my topics. So, this leads into another one of my topics. I'm not 100% convinced yet, but it was great seeing you Saturday night in Granville. Thank you, guys. There it is. Cheryl, thank you. Tonight, a great surprise will occur, one that the world will remember for centuries. What the fuck does that mean? What does that fucking mean? I should even just turn this off because I can't even think about anything else. Hi, Kim. So, I happen to be watching a thing that I should have never seen with my own eyes. And I can't believe I've never looked it up in my life. But there's physical maps that show blast radius of nuclear weapons at different grades. And even the smallest bomb that would get through our defenses and hit Washington, D.C., destroy Manassas, crush us. I didn't need to see. I know it. I've known it my whole life, but I didn't need to see it on a professional, legitimate map that's been made to show these things. So I was at my shop the other night when I saw this. I closed up, and it takes me about 35 minutes to get home. And in that 35 minutes, I had 100% unconditionally, nobody was going to change my mind, decided that I was full on getting one of those Sprinter vans and going to the van life. And I was going to just drive around the rest of my days avoiding the blast radiuses around the United States. Not too hard for the overthinkers not to freak out, right? I convinced myself. I was 100%. I'm intrigued by that whole Sprinter van life stuff anyway. I don't know if you guys see that. I would love to do. I would literally love to take an entire year. My job lets me do this. I could do this, and just you guys all know the story. I've said it a million times. I was a homeowner, and now I live in this apartment, and homes are too pricey. And I just thought I'm supposed to re-sign the lease here in July, which is just 15 days. Don't sign the lease, put a bunch of my shit in storage, and hit the fucking road. Hello, Gary. Was that Big Papa? What's up, brother? Where are you going, Dave? Why do you have to go? Uh, so, um, so I just thought that was the solution. The solution because I can't spend many more nights like I did when the Ukrainian war started and the week I've had. I can't spend the nights with the anxiety and the terror that I feel about all this stuff. I can't, I just can't do it. But then Jacob and Gavin convinced me it was stupid. It just doesn't make sense to them. And what good is me driving around the country without my family? So if they're not coming, then, hey, Teresa, if they're not coming, then why do it? I'd rather die with them in the blast radius. But it does intrigue. I guess I could just live in Manassas, but the whole point is to avoid the blast radius. So I don't. Maybe I could just go 45 miles out into the Shenandoah Valley on the other side of the mountain. Because the actually the Shenandoah Valley is supposed to be one of the safest places to be, which is just 25 miles from here, which is one of the most dangerous places to be. So it's just fucking on my mind, man. But the van life thing is intriguing to me, whether I'm avoiding nuclear blast or not. So, but I'd be curious, have any of you guys ever done that? Hi, Julie. Hey, Amy. Uh, have any of you guys ever done or seen or intrigued by the van life? Do that. Let's do the letters again. Yes or no. Have you ever been intrigued by or wanted to just live in a van free of everything, free of expenses, and drive around the country and park by lakes and rivers and beaches every day? Underground bunker under the shop, right? So a Y for yes and an N for no, if that interests you guys in any way, shape, or form. Yes, there you go. I have one yes. Also, 29 people, 17 likes. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Please ask your friends to subscribe. Please hit the like button. I wonder, is Terry with us tonight? And I haven't. Look, there's a lot of people that have thought about it. That's right. There you go, Misty. You can come right around in the van. It just seems so free, and there's so many people that do it, man. And if you've never watched, just type van life on YouTube and watch for a couple hours what these people's vans look like in their life and what they do. It's yes, I did love to travel the world. Roxanne says no. Tell us more, Roxanne. Why would you not? And Chris, my buddy Harrington, how are you? Well, I said hi to you earlier, but why would you not want to do it? What is the lack of interest? Out of curiosity, I don't need to hear why anyone else wants to do it because I think that Amy has no interest in it either. I don't Yeah, I don't need to know why people want to do it. I'd love to hear about why people wouldn't want to do it. Which brings me to another topic of it's much easier to do these shows when I make my list of things I want to mention. So I think you guys know I love the camping thing and I love the tent camping thing. And with my whole fear going on and my panic of the world and all this stuff, we should all do it to protest high property taxes. I agree, Lisa. There you go. And to protest Nikki Six. Sorry, she gets the joke. So, man, that like button didn't go up. Come on, somebody hit the like button. So, it occurred to me that I'm playing in Yellowstone in Montana on Saturday. I'm flying in Friday. And I get it, Chris. And I thought, I don't get off the East Coast with the camping much. It's hard because even though it's tent style and what do you call it, primitive, I have all my gadgets and all my toys and all the stuff that I love. So it occurred to me that I have an opportunity Friday night to camp in Yellowstone. And if you guys know that, if you're intrigued at all to, there's a backpacking lifestyle where you use all this mini stuff. And I have a lot of that mini stuff. I have the little sleeping pad, and I have the Jetboil stove, and I have all this stuff. Oh, Angie, I hear you. Your brother did do it. So I called the promoter of the show and asked her if she could send me a list of close campgrounds because I couldn't figure it out myself from where the show is to that. And we worked it out, and so I got so excited about it that I went out and bought a $500 tent today. And it's, you know, it's funny, you can go to Walmart and you can buy this great tent for $89, but what I'm paying for at $500 is how small it is. It's literally like this, and I could pack it up and put it in the backpack. I know, Jessica. And so it's a little one person tent made by a company called Nemo, called the Dragonfly or something. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm so excited. I don't have the money to buy that tent, but the world might end tonight anyway. So at this point, fuck it, man. Just fuck it, right? Run those credit cards up. So anyway, I'm gonna fly in to Montana on Friday, and with my little tiny one person tent. It's called there's a style of camping equipment, ultralight. It's called the ultralight stuff. So in one little backpack, I'll have my little tent. I have this little chair that folds up to about this big, and I have a sleeping pad that folds up. So I'll have, and a pillow that is a inflatable pillow that literally is no bigger than this. So I'm gonna fly in, and there's a good chance Rob's gonna come with me, but he's got to find a tent, that he can take with him. I don't know that Rob's gonna spend $500. Yeah, so we're gonna do that. Me and Rob, or just me and myself, are gonna camp out by a river on Yellowstone on Friday, and it's kind of a bucket list thing, man. Like I want to camp at the Grand Canyon, and I want to camp in Yellowstone, and all these beautiful places. And I just always go one day, and I always go, oh, I'm always, well, Tressa. I go to Astig all the time. It's one of my favorite places to camp. But my point of this is, I always blame the touring for me not being able to do this stuff. So instead of these hotels, if I'm in places I want to go to, why wouldn't I just do that? I enjoy it. I can knock different places off my bucket list. I'm coming out to do the thing in the Northeast, and I guess Brandy and Lisa and anyone else out there, does he have me playing at that same exact spot? Are we out in the woods by that river? Because if we are, I'm going to figure it out, and I might bring the stuff out there. Why wouldn't I just camp out there? That's like one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen in my fucking life. So why wouldn't I just play my gig at the campground and then pitch a tent? I might have to ask him about that right now. So Brett is getting a So let's see. That was one of the things I wanted to bring up. Yellowstone. Do I not have Terry Lynn in here with me this week? That'll make me sad. A couple other things, I just wanted to say or bring up. It's funny, as I don't know if you guys saw, Brett came to my local gig in Ocean City, Maryland. Me and Chuck's gig. And it made national news. Every time he does, this is the third time now that he just chooses to pop up at my acoustic shows. And 34 people. If there's somebody new in here, please, I'm begging, hit that subscribe button. Pete, I know a awesome place came out in Texas. I'll tell you. Yeah, like, thanks, Benny. I really think I'm just gonna keep this bag together and take it with me, and do those kind of things. Why not? Why not? Um, so Brett came to the Ocean City gig, which is Ocean City, Maryland. We played the Boardwalk Rock Festival in front of 60,000 people just 2 weeks before that. He's been to Ocean City with me before, visited my family, done things, but he came to the gig, and every time he does this, it makes national news, like CNN, stuff like that. Brett Michaels pops in local gig, and it's funny. It's very rare that they ever go. Brett Michaels pops in to his guitar player's gig, uh, but I think if anyone ever wonders about this kind of stuff when he does this, or if you guys have ever seen it, what happens behind the scenes is interesting. It's not nearly as simple as you think it is. Um, the first thing that I always want to mention is that it's always his choice. I've never asked him to do it. I never asked him to do it. But he hears me talk about these places and how much fun I have at them, and I think that because he's been so removed from that for almost 30 years of his life, I think it interests him. He wants to see those things and finds this as he finds it safe knowing that me and Chuck are his real friends, uh, you know. But what's funny to me about it, and I'm not complaining, but there's a perspective that I don't think anyone realizes. Uh, when he decides he's coming and then we announce he's coming, my day gets twice as hard because I have to be Pete still, and I have to set my PA up. I have to be the road crew and the band at my acoustic gig. But then I have to be Brett's tour manager because he's making an appearance. And so the day gets real long because I have to worry about him and myself. Uh, but, and again, I'm not bitching. It's just perspective that I don't think anyone sees. Because a lot of people are like, how cool is that Brett comes to your gig? Well, Brett gets national attention. The bars make a ton of money, and they get to be part of history. They get to say the coolest experience they've ever had. The bar and Brett win tremendously. I don't get paid an extra dime for making that happen, and I have to work twice as hard to do it. So it's irony. He's my friend, and I will go that extra mile to make him safe and have fun doing it. But there's this interesting perspective that no one really realizes. I'm putting in twice the work, and Brett and the bar win, and I am. It's my show that I was going to do, and I gain personally nothing from it other than people asking me questions. Uh, what does okay mean, Lisa? If you don't mind me saying, don't announce it. Is that what you're saying? You can't do that with Brett because I hate to say this. If Brett decides he's going to do it, he needs it to be packed so that when the media sees it, it's a packed house. So just in turns, coming to see a friend turns into having to promote a gig. I know, but you guys are always on the wrong coast. So, you know. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Again, I'm always grateful when he shows up, but and then it backfires on both me and Brett because uh, instantly Brett is being texted by his other friends and people. Why don't you come see me? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? And then it puts him in an awkward position because he doesn't really he's not a guy to go into a bar or a restaurant. I think in 30 years or in 21 years, um, in 21 years, I've gone into 3 restaurants with him, and I've been with him the most out of anybody in the world in those 21 years. I've spent the most time with him than anybody, even his own children. And we've been in 3 restaurants. One was during filming Rock of Love. One was in the off season in Delaware while we were in the middle of winter in Delaware, where the town was empty, and he was coming up to see one of my shops. And me and my nephew Ben and a few family members went out, and it's about feeling safe for Brett, and it's about his health. But and then one time I don't remember, we just had dinner somewhere with a group of people. It's very strange. I can't remember what it was about, but and then it backfires on me because the places I do play start hitting me up. Can you bring him here? Can you bring him here? What's it take to bring him here? And it's at the end of the day, he's truly just coming to hang out with me. And the way it turns out turns into he he's one of those last guys that creates chaos. You know, there's tons of those singers from the '80s could walk into any bar and a buzz, people would cheer, people would get photos, but not what energy he creates. He creates a chaos that's like Elvis or the Beatles. And some people may be offended that I'm comparing Brett to those 2 guys, but there's not many other people like that can walk in a room and just fucking the place fucking blows up. It's an interesting thing to see, and I was glad he did it in Ocean City. I love that place, and it was a lot of fun. So, but I just thought I'd share that other perspective because I don't think anyone ever really understands what my perspective of it. As grateful as I am, So, so moving on to a few other things. I got 37 people in there now. 37. Let's get 37 likes. Hi, Jack. You are late. We had a whole, we're almost done. I've seen you in action behind the scenes. I know. There you go, Benny. I love you, brother, so much. It's been a lot of years. So, other stuff in the news is the LA thing. There's so many theories. George Soros paying people to protest. I was watching. I have a weird thing about protest because I don't know what it really solves. I don't believe it solves anything. Sometimes I believe it's a reason for people to leave work. I I don't know what to think about LA. I saw peaceful protest, great. Again, waste of time if you ask me. I say that, but I want to. I think I said a few weeks ago. I want to get a picket sign or whatever you call it about um, full disclosure from the government about the aliens, and just go stand in front of DC. Why I haven't done that yet, I don't know. Why wouldn't I do it tomorrow? I just don't know what to put on the sign. If I could get a cool sign that would be funny to me, I would go down and be a one-man protest just to do it. But I don't understand. Oh man. Uh, I don't want to say the wrong thing because I don't know if I can convey what I'm trying to say. Again, my point is I don't understand the protest, and some of who's protesting doesn't make sense to me. Are they protesting about ISIS or not ISIS? About ICE? Is it deportation, or is it just about equality and fairness in general? But what I do know is there's a lot of hypocrisy. Um, Destroying those cop cars is ridiculous. And then I saw them. I don't know if anyone's ever had to live in LA. I've never lived in LA, but I've spent enough time and the length of time to feel the pains of a local resident, meaning I've been there for a month at a time or what have you. Hello, Angel. I read it was partly funded by a millionaire. You know, right, right, Jessica. I don't know, but um, what is my point? My point is I don't know. I'm missing a little bit of the concept of it. I saw a lot of the videos I saw were an enormous amount of LGBTQ, and were they just standing in solidarity with the deportees? Um, I don't know, but I saw them walk out in the middle of the highway. I think it was a 101, maybe. I don't know. But those freeways are some of the worst traffic in the world anyway. And at one point, they formed a line going in both directions to block those highways. And the child in me went, oh, fuck, that's a perfect stunt. When I was a kid, me and my friends made a snowball in a snowstorm one night that was big enough. Literally, it's about 8 foot tall and 8 foot wide. And we took it out and pushed it out in the middle of the road. Not our local neighborhood. We took it down into the what's called Manassas Drive, one of the main roads through our town at that time. And we just were beside ourselves at how funny we were that we had blocked traffic. Well, we all got in a lot of trouble and were taught a lesson about what we had done. It was awful. You'll drive yourself nuts trying to figure people out. I know, Lisa. So they blocked the traffic. And I thought to myself, how is that peaceful? You talk about you talk about damaging cop cars. That's awful. All of it's awful. Hurting people, threatening those people, but blocking traffic. What if someone in that highway was in a medical emergency? What if someone was family member had died and they were rushing home? What if it sounds dumb? What if they had to pee, man? I have a bladder problem. What if I had to pee? Or worse, what if I was sick? What if Brett was in that highway and had a low blood sugar and didn't have his medicine on him because he thought he was only going down the road and was going to be right back home in 15 minutes? Why did they block that fucking highway, man? What did that prove? I need to learn what protests do. As I've said a million times in my life, I don't want to shoot or hurt or kill people. I don't, but I also want to get the job done. What are we trying to do? We're trying to end ISIS. How do we end ISIS? Yes, we shoot them. We're in a country with the right to bear arms. That's what we're here for. Or not why that's not what we're here for, but that's why we came here, to have those rules, to be able to overthrow our government. The basis of our Constitution is the ability for the people to overthrow the government. I'm not saying that the insurrection thing was right. I'm not saying, but I'm saying it's what we're supposed to be able to do. Or the right to bear arms and the right to overthrow our government. So how is standing on a street corner doing that? I can't, it makes me crazy. But what I will say is I've never been a big fan of Gavin Newsom. I think he's a little too Hollywood. I say that, but Ronald Reagan was the president and Schwarzenegger was the governor. So, you know, but he spoke and he blew my fucking mind. He spoke on the topic and he called out Donald Trump's actions. And right or wrong, he sounded so American. I hate the guy. I hate him more than I hate Trump. I think he's a clown. I think he's done some really stupid stuff. He should have been executed for the way he's handled the fires. So don't get me wrong, I'm not a Gavin Newsom fan. But he had a moment and he took it. And he spoke out against how it was all unfolding. And right or wrong, he spoke majestically. It's powerful. it seemed honest. And whether you believe in them or you don't believe in them, there's one side and there's another. You agree with them or you don't agree with them. It's like saying I hate country music, but I know that that song is good. This one moment where he spoke out against Trump, if if it was if there was a verbal contest of who was cool or not, he fucking took the cake. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I wish he would speak like that on things I believe in and are important to me. I would love to agree with him on something and have him speak out. It was fascinating. Sometimes it's fascinating in the right moment. People can almost change your mind. He did not change my mind, but I was proud of him. You know, a worthy opponent, right? That's something people say a lot. Is you know, oh, it's good to have a worthy opponent. And in that moment, he was a worthy opponent. And whoever wrote the speech, I was proud of. Let's just say that. There you go, Angie. Most of those protesters are paid. They just answered correctly. I need proof of that. I'm a conspiracy theorist. You know that, but I need proof. I need to figure that out and know if that's true. I just need to know that's true. Jackie, I'm sorry if it sounds low. Maybe I'm talking quiet. I have it the same volume. I always have it. So, it's 2-2. Hey, I'll turn it up just a little bit. Hey. So, moving on. I don't know if you guys saw this. Let's get to the weekly UFO stuff, right? Me, on a personal note, 2 times in the last week. It's funny, Jackie. It's like you have said. In that hypnosis, I became very aware, and I thought about it ever since the hypnosis. But you said it on here that in that hypnosis, I appear to be operating in 2 dimensions: the dimension in which I'm speaking with the gray, and the dimension where I'm speaking with the hypnotist. Hit the like button. Thank you, Benny. And it struck a nerve that there are 2 conscious moments in my life that are very real, that I never thought of it the way you said that. But there was a morning in 1994. I was living with my girlfriend Wendy at the time. And I was in a hypnotic state. I was wide awake, laying in the bed though, eyes wide open. And I was appearing to stare at the bedroom wall. But I was looking into a whole nother world. I was looking into the world the Greys live. Clearly they knew I could see them. Clearly they were aware. But they were living their life. It wasn't an abduction experience. It wasn't them coming to me. It was their world. And they were there. It was just a 12-foot window of their world that I could see in while I was wide awake in this realm in a hypnotic state. And the point I'm telling you is I could hear my girlfriend saying, "Are you okay?" I'm very conscious that she was at the foot of the bed while I was still in this hypnotic state, watching them. And she started banging on my leg. I could feel her banging on my leg, but I was so entranced, and I didn't want to leave the experience. And I couldn't believe I was there. It was not a dream. My eyes were wide open, and she's passed away. I think I've talked about her before. She's passed away, but she went to her grave saying, I don't know what he thinks he was looking at, but his eyes were wide open. So as far back as then, I was experiencing this, being able to be conscious in multiple realities. And about 8 years ago, that a similar experience happened again to me, where I was having a very aggressive conversation in another reality, and Tina had heard every word and repeated them back to me. And I was completely aware that she was there, but I was also aware that she couldn't be involved in what I was doing. So anyway, moving forward, twice in the last week this has happened again, where I'm completely aware of this realm. Realm's such a Hobbit word. I don't want to not. This isn't Dungeons and Dragons. I was twice in this week. I've been completely conscious in two spectrums, in two platforms, two dimensions, two realities, and the second time I was controlling it. I knew I was doing it. It's a very interesting aspect and something I'm trying to look more into, but that's something that's been going on, and I'm working on. I'm working on understanding how that happens, but it's very, 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 very real. But what I was really wanted to talk about was, for any of you guys following this, I think the New York Times or the Washington Post or one of the biggest papers in the United States published a statement from our government claiming that all these whistleblowers, that the military had played a joke to scare, like a hazing that started in 1949. They claim there's this hazing where they actually had a Hollywood model abduction experience that they would let certain new soldiers see and then threaten them. Your family will die if you ever tell anyone about this. And it's like, it's a hazing, but it was real. Like what they thought they seen was real. It wasn't like I'm dreaming this. It was in real life, real world. The visits to Area 52, whatever it is. You got to read the article. Look it up. So the article is to say that none of this is real. The whole UFO thing's been a lie. So let me try to make this right. Again, I can't explain this stuff good. You could go to my buddy. Again, he's not my buddy. I wish he was my buddy. That Vetted site. The Vetted site guy talks about it. He's angry as fuck about it, and he's passionate about it. A couple people spoke out. Here's the problem. All we're all fighting for in this disclosure fight is that the government lies. And their retaliation to all of this is to say it was all a lie. Well, what you fucking did was prove that you're a liar. So, is this disinformation? Because if it is, it backfired on you. Because all you did was prove that the government does lie. Everything we've ever said. So what is the truth, right? So here's the thing. Here's where we're arrogant. If that was really their point to try to prove that none of this is real, they're so arrogant that they think small, like I always say. The alien abduction experience, the UFO phenomena, the crop circles, all of this stuff happens all over the world. So was the entire world in on this hazing? The answer is no. So, I was never in the fucking military. Whitley Strieber was never in the military. Travis Walton was never in the military. Betty and Barney were never in the military. I don't mean to group myself into the three most famous cases in history. I'm just making a point, So could that have been a prank? That very much could have been an awful prank, and those families need to sue the United States government for the anxiety of feeling like they were shown something, and because they weren't chosen to see it. They didn't go, "Oh my God, someone show me the fucking UFO." If they were truly pranked, and the anxiety that they spent the rest of their fucking lives afraid that their families were going to get fucking killed. Whatever reason this person chose to tell this to that newspaper just makes everybody involved look like fucking morons, arrogant fucking morons and assholes. And it doesn't prove a single thing, because the whistleblowers in the government are 10% of the experiencers in the world. So it didn't work. But I urge you all that have interest in this part with me to look this up, this newspaper article. Watch my guy that vetted that the vetted channel, the VETDED that I tell you about. He's just watch it and just think, because this goes way beyond the UFO situation. This goes way beyond disclosure. This is open statement that the government does terrible things. If they really did that, what else do they do to who else? What other hazing happened? What other things have happened that have sent people? We know that, in the 40s and 50s, they experimented on these people, which was awful. But could you imagine, just fucking imagine being a 25-year-old in the Army with a wife and a child at home, and you go to your deathbed. So say you live to be just 70. What's that? What's that? Another 45? 20, so just another 25 years. 25 years every day thinking, I know something that I didn't want to know, and now my child could get killed because I know that. What kind of psychological fucking damage? What did that guy not do in his fucking life? Hundreds of them. It's just think about it. It's fucking fascinating, man. So that's on my mind, man. That's what's been on my mind this week. It's been almost a speechless since last Friday. Just thinking about Iran, thinking about this, thinking about LA. You can't say it enough, man. We're in a fucked up world. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. You know it is. And to that, just like saying I'm going camping in Wyoming, I'm telling you guys, man, do what the fuck ever you want to do, man. It sounds brutal. If you don't love your fucking husband or wife, get the fuck out. Do them the favor. Do you the favor. Get the fuck out of any situation that you don't want to fucking be in, and do all the fucking things you want to do. Anything is fucking possible. There is nothing stopping anybody from doing anything. It's time, man. It's time. I'm not saying they're going to drop bombs and we're all going to die, but we may have a whole different government. The rules may change. All kinds of shit may change, man. All kinds of shit may change. We may be a fucking communist country within the next 6 months. You may not have the right to fucking go hiking or camping or fishing. Not that you guys want to do that, but I believe we come round and round. I believe in the kind of reincarnation thing, and I believe that. But you don't remember it. So while you're making memories, or while you got the opportunity to make memories, make those fucking memories right now. Anything. Drink what you want to fucking drink. I'm going through this whole thing about pre-diabetic, right? I think you guys know that. Well, fuck it. Fuck it, man. If I can't eat the fucking Mexican food that I want to fucking eat, then I don't want to fucking be here anyway. Then I'm not me anymore, right? I'm not saying not be healthy. I'm not saying that. But we're shackled. We're shackled by our government. We're shackled by insurance companies. We're shackled by our jobs. We're shackled by our debt. We are shackled by everything. And it just doesn't matter. All of it's bullshit, man. It's just... Man, we did this wrong. Not us on this chat room, but we We led ourselves right into a fucking trap of misery. And just do what makes you happy, man. And hug the fucking ones you love. I, who knows what's happening right now? You guys know I'm going to go right to the TV and look at what the fuck happened in Iran in the last hour. What could I have done in an hour? I see you, Benny. We'll see you next week. Anyway, guys, sorry it took a week. Please, 28 likes to 27 viewers. For the first time, I have more likes than viewers. My best day on YouTube. One more time, I'm begging you, hit subscribe. Pass the word to your friends that we have these chats and help me build this up. And thank you guys for joining in and listening to me. I had a lot of shit to say this week, and I think a lot of it maybe some of you guys might not agree with, but we don't have to agree, right? We can respect and love each other. The more you talk, the more that man road trip. Brandy, go on YouTube if you've never done it. Just spend an hour tonight and text me later about what you've seen. It's the freedom. I almost feel like you and your husband live that life anyway, man. Big Papa, how you doing, brother? I'll see you soon too. I think we start the Def Leppard dates this week. Very exciting. So rock and roll is good. Everybody, I love you guys so much, more than you ever know. Thank you for spending the time with me, and I'll chat with you guys later. Have a great night.